Hello, welcome to the Microsoft Excel training. In today's training, we are going to be looking at the sine function. We are going to be calculating the sine of angle. We're going to be looking at it from the radian and, of course, from the degree perspective. Now, let's go into the class as we look at the sine function. Hello, welcome back to the class. So we're going to be looking at the sine function. The sine function is a trigonometry function. Okay, and of course, the sine function is used to calculate the sine of a given angle in Excel. Now, the sine function is a fundamental trigonometric function that measures the ratio of the opposite side to the hypotenuse in a right angle triangle. Now, in the sine function, we have number. We have the sine function, and then we have number. The number itself there is the angle for which you want to calculate. But you need to understand that if your angle is already in degree, then in degrees, then you have to convert it to radians first before you can now get the sine of the angle. So the sine function is often used in geometry, physics, engineering, and even finance. Okay, I'm going to show you just a short example on finance, which I did. So you can calculate calculation involving angle and oscillations and all that. So the key features is the input has to be in radians. Okay, and the formula for radians is either you use a function or you use the angle multiplied by pi divided by 180. Okay, so now let's go into the Excel worksheet and see how this is done. So now in our Excel worksheet, we have the example here, which we want to get the sine of angle 30 and angle 60. Angle 30, angle 60. So these are already in degrees. Okay? And before you can bring the sine of the angle, you have to get the radians. So we have two options. You either calculate the radians first, which is equal sine radians, multiply. That's the function. Okay? That's the function. But if you are using formula, you take the degree, you multiply by 3.14. You know pi is 3.14. Then you divide by 180. So that gives you the same, almost the same results, but for whatever reason, maybe the calculations here, you just have to, let me see, just see. Okay, so we still have the same thing. So that is the, reasons for the difference is because the pi itself has some additional numbers, but I just gave a very short one. So I will just, maybe if you want to escape that, you can use the pi, the pi function like this. Okay, so if you use the pi, you see that I get the same value. So I use the pi function inside, and I got the same value. So that is formula for radian, but it's better you use function so that you don't go through long, complex process multiplying the angle by pi divided by 180. Okay. So you calculate your radian, and then you now get the sine of that number. So that will now give you the sine of the angle. Okay? But another way you can do this is just go straight. So, and how do I do that? Equals sine, open the bracket. Then before I capture my value, this is the sine of this value. So I will get the radians of this value inside the sine function. So what it means is that it will find the radian and then calculate it for the sine. And that goes straight, as you can see, beautiful. Then the example here talks about a finance computed stock price method. So maybe if you're familiar with this, so all I've done is use the sine, to calculate, multiply by pi divided by the number of months, and then multiply by the computed value, the time, and of course the baseline. So the formula actually picks the amplitude, which is this value, and then the baseline price. The phase shift is always 0 in this finance calculation. Then the baseline, which is 100. And so what we have here is the amplitude multiplied by sine, multiplied by sine, open bracket, 2 multiplied by pi of that angle, and then divided by 12 times time, okay, plus the baseline. And so doing, we have this formula. But the beauty of it is that the sine function is part of this formula. So, but what I just want you to understand is the basic use of the sine function. But if you have been looking for solution for cyclical stock price modeling using the sine function, this is the solution for you. All right, so this is where we're going to stop on the sine function. See you in another session where we'll be looking at the cosine function. And then, of course, you can also watch the video as it shows the link at the top. Just click it and it will take you to the cosine function. See you in the next session. Bye for now.